He is jealous of his brother, Abel. And Cain's jealousy leads him to kill. Adam and Eve didn't kill anything. So is there and are there degrees of sin? Yes. Because you've been told in former places that all sin. I'm sorry, sin has degrees. Some sin you get a slap on the hand. Other sin you get a slap on the butt. But some sin that you commit can get your life taken from you. And the greatest of those sins that have caused you your life is if you take a life. You don't get your life taken because you stole some fruit. You don't get your life taken because you ate off the tree. So we don't even understand. When God says, from the dust you came, to the dust you don't return, the curse wasn't, oh, Father. I don't even understand it. They really don't understand it. It says, dude, now instead of the ground just giving to you, you're going to have to work it. And in the sweat of your brow, that's when you're going to make it. That's how you're going to make it. It's not free no more. It's not happening like that. It's not going that way. And you know what, buddy? You came from it, and you're going back to it. And you're not going to see a day with me. And we understand that Adam lived over 900 years. But he still did not live a day with the eternity. Well, therefore sin is an evil impulse. It is an evil thought that can lead a person to an action that is against God's commandments. Therefore, when a person goes against God's commandments, they miss the mark. And this is what it means to sin. And then I wanted to go for a proof text to a book that some people won't let go of. The Christian Bible in 1 John 3 and 4. 1 John 3 and 4 reads, whosoever committeth sin transgresseth also the law. For sin is the transgression of the law. Sin is not believing in Jesus. That has nothing to do with sin. Sin is the transgression of the law, even the new guy says. So sin means missing again the mark. And that's how the New Testament folks understood it as well. Romans 4:15 states, where there is no law, there is no transgression. So if you're in a faith community that says that you are under grace and not under law, and yet they tell you that you can sin, that's an impossibility. Because if there is no law and you're under grace, then there can never be transgression. Transgression meaning to miss the mark. If a person transgresses the law of God, thus committing a sin, how can he or she correct their sin and return to the eternal? It must be taught for a person to acquire forgiveness from sin that he or she needed to bring some type of sacrifice. And in the book of Exodus, it talks about what is brought for sin that man might commit. And what are some of the other principles behind which will pull man away and cause him to sin? Wanting something for nothing. And I learned this many, many years ago. How do we miss the tree of life? I learned this from our beloved elder, Moshe Ben Eliyahu. He had with him one day, you ever seen this carry stuff around? So he had about only 5 books. He had this anything goes. Put your finger on the scale when you're weighing their meat. Get that little something extra in there. Science without humanity. And it's what we're looking at and facing now in this day and time. Worship without sacrifice. But whenever I get there, it's okay. Like I'm in charge of God. A lot of us still make that mistake. Thinking that we are more important to God than God is to us within the context of our lives. Please be evaluate yourself. And this is one that I love to say when I speak.